Hey fam, what is going on, and welcome back to another Ghost of Tsushima video. This will be an in-depth video on my ENJO'S toxic assassin build that a lot of people have been asking for. Now I do want to give a big shout out to a gentleman that goes by the name of Atomic Bomb 1177 on YouTube. Be sure to go check out his channel. This build is going to be based on his build. However, I do make a couple minor adjustments for my own personal preference. Also, just like any other build video, I will be putting the build at the beginning of the video for anybody that doesn't like to stick around for the entire video to get more in-depth details as to why I chose certain things and stuff like that. So if you are interested in a more in-depth video, feel free to stick around. Guys, if you are having trouble looking for people to play with, be sure to join the Discord that's linked down below and join the other hundreds of gamers in there that are playing with each other on a daily basis and making some pretty cool friends along the way. If you like this video, please be sure to leave a like down below and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. If not, it's all good. We love y'all anyway. But without further ado, let's get to the build. Alright guys, what is going on? First things first, I am going to show the build right here for anybody that wants to take a screenshot of all my gear. Feel free. And these are the techniques that I'm using. Now, for anybody that is here for more in-depth video, let's go ahead and get started and jump right into the gear that I am currently using for this build. Now, first things first, guys, I am using a water katana. I don't currently have any moon katanas, and I did just learn Moon Master Cancel, so you're gonna have to bear with me with this one right here. Honestly, you can use any epic katana for any of these builds. It's all personal preference. As of right now, I am using the water katana with melee damage, ability cooldown reduction, poison blade, and way of the flame. Now, my melee damage, obviously, you need as an assassin because melee damage does stack with your ultimate if you didn't already know, and you are going to be doing a lot of sword play as an assassin. You know, yes, you have bombs, but you do get a lot of sword combat, believe it or not. Now, ability cooldown reduction, guys, plays more specifically into my toxic ability. So my toxic vanish is on a longer cooldown, as you can see right here, than my other two abilities. This is on a 62-second cooldown, whereas group vanish and refreshing vanish are on 50-second cooldowns. So I love having ability cooldown reduction just to help with that extra time in order to get that ability back as fast as possible. Now, poison blade, obviously, if you aren't already aware, with the poison assassins, you do have deadly nightshade, which is a rather new addition to the assassin because they didn't always have this. And deadly nightshade causes your poison to not only deal damage to the stagger meters but to the health as well. A big thing is it does stack on top of itself. So if you have poison darts and you shoot multiple poison darts at somebody, every dart stacks. And if you have your vanish and you pop chain vanish, it stacks. So the more toxic you have on somebody, the more damage you're going to be dealing. So poison blade is the same thing. When poison blade proc, it actually does poison damage to the stagger meter and the health meter as well, as long as you have deadly nightshade as one of your techniques, which is what we'll go over a little bit later on. Now, way of the flame is something that I really like as well, just because it does allow you to have an unblockable attack for those annoying shieldmen and spearmen that kind of like to get in your face a lot. And I really like to proc way of the flame when I use my assassin ultimate, just to add that much more damage. So I do use way of the flame a lot more than I think people might understand. Next, guys, I am using forbidden medicine. Now, yes, I'm using a bomb, but do not be fooled. This build can work so well with darts as well. So I have a heaven's sting. You know, if you don't want to use a legendary, you don't have to. You can easily create a blowgun on an epic level because having a legendary slot isn't exactly necessary. However, for me, I like having forbidden medicine just because of the damage that the black powder bombs itself actually do. So I do have blast radius, status effect damage, assassin unlock, and black powder bombs. Now, for those of you who are asking how I got my forbidden medicine on this actual assassin to level 120, basically all you have to do, the gist of it, is you have to have a forbidden medicine that has assassin unlock on it, bind it to your Ronin, and then you'll be able to use it on your assassin. Despite what the little warning says, you can still use it on your assassin as long as you have assassin unlocked. So blast radius, guys, obviously because you want to get as much resolve as possible. But with the new patch update, your black powder bombs no longer give resolve. So your concussion bombs are what are going to be doing the most resolve gain for you in this instance. However, blast radius does scale with black powder bombs, and it does allow the black powder bombs to explode in a bigger radius, which causes enemies to be on fire and allows you to kill them a lot quicker. Now, status effect damage, because status effect damage directly applies to all your status effects, including the main status effect for this build, which is poison. So poison and fire, because you're using black powder bombs, you are using Way of the Flame along with burning blade. So burning blade procs, it also benefits from status effect damage, and as long as you have this, your toxic vanish will as well. It's actually insane. Having this is a must on this build, and black powder bombs, kind of a no-brainer. Now guys, this is the heart of the build right here, and something that a lot of people have been actually wondering about. And since this new update where legendaries can now unlock all the class specific perks and properties that were normally locked before, as long as you bind it to the actual character. So ENJO'S Remorse has become very, very popular in the most recent patch update. So I do have ENJO'S Remorse with Oni damage, toxic vanish radius, fire master, and chain vanish. If you aren't already aware, ENJO'S Remorse does deal 15% bonus damage while you're at full health. So this whole build, guys, is based around trying to remain at full health to do as much damage as possible as an assassin, which is actually insane. So with the Oni damage, guys, there was a chance here to put fire damage. However, for me, I feel like since I am doing a poison build, having Oni damage is way better, because not only will your fire benefit when you throw those black powder bombs or you use Way of the Flame, but your poison will as well. So having Oni damage allows all damage sources to those big pesky Oni to be amplified by 10%. I just think that this is a more well-rounded build than just having fire, considering it's a poison build for the most part. Not only are you getting that extra 10%, but if you're at full health, that 15% from ENJO'S is going to just make that much of a difference. Now, toxic vanish radius, guys, is something that is an absolute must for this build. Toxic vanish, when you do proc it, it creates a massive toxic cloud around you that poisons all the enemies that are within the blast, and having a bigger blast radius just means more of those enemies are going to get caught in the blast and become poisoned. Now, once they are poisoned, as you can see on the bottom, I do have chain vanish, so you will be invisible when you proc your toxic vanish. And once you get an assassination on one of those littler targets, you're going to chain vanish and go back invisible. And yes, once you go back invisible, you will proc that toxic vanish once more and release another cloud of toxic. As you guys see, I do have fire master on here because I thought that it was best in class when it comes to this specific perk, because you are going to be using black powder bombs, and I think those black powder bombs are the main starter when it comes to attacking any group of enemies, whether they're at the spawn point or whether they're just already in the circle and you're just trying to do massive damage. So throwing 2 black powder bombs, depending on how many you have, will benefit from having that 25% extra damage stacked on top of the 15% extra damage that you're getting if you're at full health from ENJO'S Remorse, and stacked on top of the Oni damage 10% that you're going to be getting from that. Next up, guys, I have the Spirit Kunai. Now, you don't need a Spirit Kunai in this build. You could easily have a sticky bomb, but for me, my whole thought process behind this was because we aren't going to be using the Assassin Unleash technique that you see right here that decreases ability cooldown by 15%, having a Spirit Kunai is going to be incredibly useful because it does decrease all of your cooldowns by 10 seconds for every single kill that you get with every single kunai. So I have ghost weapon damage, status effect duration, super massive, and hidden blades. Now for ghost weapon damage, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer because one, not only does your spirit kunai get that little buff for the ghost weapon damage, but your black powder bombs are considered ghost weapons as well, and it will benefit from that 20% extra damage, which stacks on top of Oni damage, which stacks on top of Fire Master, which stacks on top of ENJO'S. You can see how this kind of just synergizes with itself. Now, having status effect duration is another thing on here that is super helpful because you want your status effect to do as much damage as possible, but you also want them to last as long as possible, especially when it comes to your poison for those big Oni targets. You want them to take as much poison damage as possible. So increasing the duration by 15% helps with that as well. Super massive and hidden blades are two things that have become very popular once the gear mastery decrease system was introduced, because combining those two things allows for a lot of awesome situations, because having supermassive, one, deals extra damage, which, you know, your ghost weapon damage helps your spirit kunai deal extra damage, along with oni damage, along with ENJO'S, and it just gets kind of crazy. But hidden blades is amazing because it throws 5 kunai at the same time, and if you get 3, 4, 5 kills with the kunai, then you are going to be getting 10 seconds for each of those kills as a decrease in your cooldowns for every single cooldown, not just your ability, which is honestly the main thing that we're going for because it's a 62-second cooldown, but also for your ghost weapons, also for Way of the Flame, and any cooldown that you might have. It's actually very, very useful, and spirit kunai is so strong. So this build right here, if you wanted to take your spirit kunai out and only use an epic item, then I would suggest going here to your techniques and using Assassin Unleashed, which does that 15% cooldown. This way you passively have a way to actually have a cooldown on your ability that also stacks with the ability cooldown reduction that is on your katana. Next, guys, I am using the smoke bomb. Obviously, I love the smoke bomb. There's a lot of people that like to use caltrops and stuff like that, but for me, smoke bomb is an absolute must because it does have stealth attack damage, and if you don't already know, stealth attack damage does stack with your ultimate as an assassin. Now, any normal assassin build would have stealth attack damage on the charm and stealth attack damage probably on their blow dart. However, I didn't have any in this build, obviously, because it's mainly circled around ENJO'S Remorse. However, adding some stealth attack damage on the smoke bomb actually does play into your favor. I also have cooldown reduction on kill, which every kill that you get will reduce the cooldown of this specific ghost weapon by 4 seconds. Not both of your ghost weapons, just this specific one right here. I am also using munitions and lucky munitions, obviously, because I have bombs and your teammates have bombs and arrows, and munitions is just an overall very good tool to have when you are playing in survival or the raid or whatever, and it helps your teammates replenish their ammo, which is an absolute must. And lucky, guys, lucky procs so often. But yeah, guys, this is the gear that I am using right here, so feel free to take a screenshot of this build right here, and let's go ahead and check out the technique. So guys, the techniques are very, very simple considering I'm using 3 legendary items. Obviously, Toxic Vanish, and with all that ability cooldown reduction, that 62 seconds kind of dwindles down pretty quickly as long as you're getting kills with that spirit kunai. It's very important. We'll talk about the playstyle here in a second. And then for perk slot number 1, guys, I am using legendary, and like I said, if you guys are not going to be using 3 legendary items, I would highly recommend switching this to Assassin Unleashed, which decreases your ability cooldown by 15%, considering it's a very, very long cooldown at 62 seconds without that spirit kunai. Deadly Nightshade is the most important part of these techniques because it allows your poison to deal damage to not only the stagger meter, which that's all it will deal damage to if you don't have this, but it also deals damage to the health. So these enemies are getting absolutely nuked once you poison them, and it's beautiful to see all those health bars just drop down. So Deadly Nightshade is a must for this build because it's a toxic build. Come on now. Lastly, guys, I am using the legendary on this slot as well in order to have those 3 legendary items. All right, guys, so let's talk a little bit of how to use this build specifically. Now, this is an ENJO'S build. So ENJO'S build requires you to be at full health in order to benefit from that 15% bonus damage. So Forbidden Medicine really, really helps with that because you can throw those concussion bombs at your own feet in order to make sure that you are at full health for that next wave. There's all kind of ways to heal yourself in survival. So make sure you're at full health at the start of a wave or as often as possible to benefit. So at the start of a wave, guys, using that black powder bomb to completely bomb the area is absolutely crucial. You can throw down a smoke to stop them from moving, and then if you want, you could pop your vanish, or you can hit that kunai on those enemies that are very, very, very low. But popping your vanish will allow that cooldown to be used. This way, when you do use your kunai, you can bring it back up as soon as possible. Pop your vanish, start assassinating, get that chain vanish to proc, make sure everybody's poisoned in the area, and then finish off the big guys with your ultimate, or, you know, some sword play, or, you know, some more black powder bombs, anything that you can do to get those big guys down. And it's kind of the same for when they're in the circle. You want to make sure you're at full health, and you want to take down those targets, guys, that are the most annoying. So the Tengu, because they can easily deal damage to you. Just one crow that deals damage takes away from that ENJO'S Remorse actually being useful. You want to be at full health. So take care of them, take care of those archers, and then, you know, work your way down and kill those big guys off. Guys, this build is so much fun, and I know you guys will enjoy it. It deals an insane insane amount of damage, and I can't even explain to you guys how much fun I had with this build, testing it out last night on stream with everybody hanging out with us. So if you guys like this build, or if you do end up getting to use this build, let me know in the comments below. I would very much like to hear your guys' comments on this specific build, or if you have a better build, please be sure to drop it in the Discord under the assassin build section. And if you're not already in the Discord, what are you waiting for? Be sure to click the link down below and join all the amazing gamers in there that are playing on a daily basis. If you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like down below and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. If not, it's all good. We love y'all anyway. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.